Hello everyone and welcome back to Clothesline Podcast. My name is Zoran and this is a wrestling podcast straight from Halloween, Israel. And I was about to review NXT Halloween Havoc for you when news hit the fan about Ring of Honor. Apparently Ring of Honor is shutting down at least until April 2022. They released a statement on their website and other social media outlets about less than an hour ago. And this is a statement, this is what they said. Throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe, and despite not producing any live events over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. The year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor has the most dedicated fans in the industry, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize Ring of Honor. We anticipate returning to live events in April for the Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans. So the gist of it is Ring of Honor is shutting down after Final Battle in December. They'll have a couple of tapings before that. And then afterwards, they'll be shutting down operations until April, until the point they are officially ready to go ahead with their new strategy and new vision for Ring of Honor. As to the contracted wrestlers for Ring of Honor, they'll all be released. Everyone that has signed a contract to Ring of Honor until the end of the year, when he finishes his contract, he is able to renegotiate anywhere he wants. And those who have signed after the end of the year, they'll be compensated until March 31st. This is a bummer. Another hit by the coronavirus, and Ring of Honor is one of the best wrestling promotions on the planet. They're not just saying that, they've actually proven that time and time again. With their rich history, when you look at all the guys that came out of Ring of Honor, we're talking Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Austin Aries, Bryan Danielson, Seth frickin' Rollins. I think Kenny Omega was there for a couple of matches, but he wasn't like an ROH original. Yeah, it's a shame. It's disappointing. It's a bummer. And the only thing I can wish is that Ring of Honor does return in April. If it's not, there's going to be a huge gap in the wrestling industry, because Ring of Honor really had that special spot in fans' hearts, in people's eyes. And even though a lot of its talent roster moved on to greater pastures, still, Ring of Honor is a good place to be in, and a great wrestling organization and promotion. I really do hope it returns in April 22, and we will keep you updated about this ongoing development. So, that was the news for now. Let's start with NXT Halloween Havoc. We had the opening with Chucky the doll. And Chucky was involved throughout the episode, and I gotta say, I loved it. I think the collaboration between Chucky and NXT actually worked. I was a little bit scared when I heard that Chucky was going to be a part of this, because I remember what happened back in WCW, but I'm happy that they did him justice. And Chucky did justice for NXT. It was a good centerpiece for the NXT Halloween Havoc episode, and he was out throughout the episode introducing a couple of matches. He had his own Chucky's Choice and the spin the wheel deal. That was awesome. And yeah, it was a good crossover. The show started with the Scareway to Hell ladder match for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles between Zoe Stark and Io Shirai, taking on Persia Pirotta and Indy Hartwell, taking on Toxic Attraction, JC Jane and Gigi Dolin. Good match. Good opener for the show. There was a spot where JC just went straight into a ladder. I was really scared for her because she had that concussion about a week ago. So I thought to myself when I saw that, is she supposed to take a bump like that after the scare she had about a week ago? That's just my opinion. Well, luckily she was okay. She continued the matchup. There was an even scarier spot with Io Shirai when Indy pushed her off the ladder on top of another ladder that was the stage outside the ring. And that was really scary. But luckily, Io reported that she's okay. So I'm happy about that. And the ending came when Toxic Attraction win the match. When I think about NXT and about this whole new development deal, this pretty much says it all. I gotta admit, I thought they're gonna put the titles on Persia and Indy, but I'm happy that Toxic Attraction won the titles nonetheless. Congratulations to Gigi and JC, the new women's tag team champions of NXT. Afterwards, we get the Haunted House with Dexter and Johnny Gargano waiting for Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And I'm just going to talk about both scenes that happened throughout the episode. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was a big upgrade from the segment from last year with Cameron Grimes and Dexter. Great costumes from all the participants in this segment. I loved it. And again, it's Halloween. It's supposed to be foolish. It's supposed to be funny, childish, costumes. It's good, clean fun, so I'm okay with it. In the end, Carmelo gets the championship, and they're out of that scary house. And thumbs up by Dexter and the other monsters. I liked it. We go back to the ring where we see Grayson Waller dressed as Dracula, and he's the host. What exactly happened to LA Knight? He says he might have difficulty showing up. I don't know what that means. When Joe Gacy walks into the ring interrupting him, and he has a match against Malik Blade. A very decent match. Throughout the match, we see a glimpse from backstage where Harlan makes his appearance, and apparently he dressed up as Nails 2.0. He shows up near ringside, ready to beat up Malik when Joe Gacy stops him. Harlan throws Malik back into the ring. Finishing move by Joe Gacy, and he wins. When I think of Joe Gacy and his gimmick, I don't really understand. Maybe because I'm from Israel, I don't really get the whole conservative, left-wing kind of vibe. I'm just getting this vibe that this guy and Harlan are basically Wyatt Family 2.0. He's a preacher, he pastors, he talks to people, he tries to brainwash people. That was pretty much Bray Wyatt's gimmick. That was a shtick. So, in my opinion, the whole Joe Gacy inclusive movement with Harlan is basically Wyatt Family 2.0. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I can't really tell you. We just have to wait and see if it actually works. We get a video package from Kaylee Ray saying she's very angry that she hasn't gotten anything done in NXT besides win. Did she even lose ever since she got into NXT? I really don't remember her losing ever since she got here. I remember she had that feud with Ember Moon where she won. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. We go back to backstage where we have a party when we see Waller talking to Jiro and Kushida. They're asking him about Halloween. He explains it to them, and Kushida has an idea. We'll see about that later on. There were like two segments. I'm just going to combine them. Robert Stone, dressed as Elvis, goes through a table by Zion Quinn. Duke Hudson challenges Cameron Grimes to a poker game next week. And Tony D'Angelo will be a guest on Lash Legend. Great. We move on to an open challenge by the Diamond Mine. They have an open challenge for the entire roster of NXT. And who steps up? Odyssey Jones. And he challenges Roderick Strong, Malcolm with the burn of the night. With all due disrespect, you're not 205 pounds. Now, I'm not going to problem the match. The match was really good. But here's my question. You had this match on 205 Live. Are you now treating 205 Live as a dark show because you think nobody watches it? That's why you had the match on NXT? What am I missing here? Why have the same match on 205 Live and now NXT? Like back to back. What's the point? What am I missing? Anyways, a good match, and with the help of the Creed brothers, Roderick Strong is able to defeat Odyssey Jones. We get an interview by Imperium where Marcel Bartel speaks in German and Fabian Ochner speaks in Italian. I like that spot. And they talk about them being loyal to Walter even though he's not there. And they are concentrating on winning the NXT Tag Team Championships. We'll see that match later on. We move on to the NXT Women's Championship match between Mandy Rose and Raquel Gonzalez doing her best American Badass impersonation when she drives to the arena on a motorcycle. And we gotta spin the wheel, make a deal, and it's Chucky's choice. And Chucky's choice is a trick or street fight. Get it? Not trick or treat, but trick or street. You know, the puns? There were a lot of puns considering Halloween. But still, nonetheless, a very good match. I'm going to say this right now. This was the best match Mandy Rose ever had on WWE/NXT television. The best match she ever had. And that's not knocking on Mandy Rose. I think she's a good wrestler. I think she's good in the ring. But she never had the proper opportunity to showcase her abilities. And even though this is a gimmick match with all kinds of weapons, still, this was a good match. The ending came when someone dressed in black attacked Raquel Gonzalez with a shovel, allowing Mandy to hit her version of the V-trigger. Pins Raquel. Mandy Rose is the new NXT Women's Champion. Now, Toxic Attraction has all the gold. And when you look at the history of WWE and women factions, Toxic Attraction accomplished something that neither the Riot Squad, Absolution, PCB, BAD, and a whole lot more were able to accomplish. They actually won all the gold. That is awesome. That is awesome. I am truly happy for all the members of Toxic Attraction. A great accomplishment, a major accomplishment. And yeah, they have all the gold. Afterwards, we get the unveiling who is the masked attacker against Raquel Gonzalez, and it was Dakota Kai. Now, that is weird because for the past couple of weeks, we had this vignette of someone in a graveyard, digging up a grave, saying she's going to bury her past, she's going to get reborn. Also on those episodes, we got Ember Moon complaining about her losing streak, saying something has got to change. So in my mind, I put one and one together and I thought to myself, it's supposed to be Ember Moon. It makes sense. And in the end, it's Dakota Kai. But why Dakota Kai? Wasn't she like on dark matches on Raw and SmackDown and on main event preparing to move on to the main roster? Like, why is she back on NXT? Her feud with Raquel is over. She has nothing else to prove. She was already established on main event and dark matches. I mean, why go backwards? Why go back to NXT 2.0? She has nothing to prove against Raquel, and it's okay. I really don't see the point. I really thought it was going to be Amber. Wouldn't mind an Amber Moon heel turn because it suits the vignette. She needs to change. She needs to evolve. And she's been a face all this time. It just made sense. Really weird. We move on back to the ring where we see Waller is confronted by the returning LA Knight, also dressed as Dracula. They argue for a bit, and then Waller says, I don't care if you had car problems. And LA Knight says, wait a minute, how did you know I had car problems? Classic segments from back in the day. I remember when they had Austin Idol and Michael Hayes do the exact same thing, only with tires and not car problems. And then we get the debut of Solo Sikoa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Solo Sikoa. And he demolishes Grayson Waller. Now, here's my question. Waller is supposed to be the face. LA Knight is supposed to be the heel. But in this scenario, Waller sabotaged LA Knight's car, preventing him from arriving at the venue, while LA Knight was the host of the show. And then he confronts him, and then Waller gets attacked by Solo. But isn't that supposed to be the other way around? Like, why not have Waller win the match last week with LA Knight, the heel, stealing his job? Waller confronts LA Knight, tells him about the whole car problem thing, and then Solo attacks LA Knight. Like, the whole segment didn't make any sense because the roles were reversed. I just don't get it. We move on to the next match for the tag team titles, the men's tag team titles, as Imperium faces MSK. Again, it's a spin the wheel, make a deal, and we get a Lumberjack-O-Lantern match. Let me say that again. It's a Lumberjack-O-Lantern match. Basically, it's a lumberjack match. Ha, funny. A decent match. I thought it could be better. Still, very top talented individuals in the ring, as MSK and Imperium really gave it their all. There was a spot where Nash performs a cutter on Marcel from the top turnbuckle to the outside, and then on the outside we see Kushida and Jiro picking a fight with the Creed brothers. Now here's the weird part, because when they had the segment backstage, there wasn't really a payoff. I mean, they were supposed to like show them dressed as the Creed brothers. They were dressed as like amateur college wrestlers, but there was no addressing the fact that they had cosplayed as the Creed brothers, basically mocking them. I didn't get it. In the end, Imperium defeats MSK clean in the ring and become two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. Awesome. I love Imperium. I think those two guys are an amazing tag team. And I'm surprised that MSK lost. Are they going to stick around NXT? Are they going to move up to Raw or SmackDown? We'll just have to wait and see. But it was a really surprising win by Imperium. But I'm happy they won. I really am. We move on to the main event. Tommaso Ciampa, or should I say Tommaso Kratos Ciampa versus Braun Breaker. And there's basically two stories to the match. One story is Braun Breaker is still a rookie, because he had a couple of rookie mistakes. I saw him tripping on the middle rope at one point in the match. The second is he is going to win the NXT Championship. It wasn't tonight because it wasn't his time, but it's okay because they did everything and anything to protect Braun Breaker in this loss. He took two fairy tale endings, a DDT on the floor. He was bleeding from his forehead, and completely protected him from a loss to Tommaso Ciampa. And Tommaso retains the NXT Championship in a good match, a really good match. And I was surprised, because I was surprised by the fact that I really thought Braun Breaker would win this match. But then what would you do with Tommaso Ciampa? Where does he go from here? But in the end, they wanted to prolong this. And I don't know if we're going to get a takeover in the near future, because it wasn't advertised on the scheduling of the wrestling events. But nevertheless, Braun Breaker will be the NXT champion. I'm banking on it. And as Paul Heyman says, that's not a prediction, that is a spoiler. As for Tommaso Ciampa, let's see how long he holds on to that NXT championship. And that was Halloween Havoc. A solid show by NXT. And like I said before, if you look at NXT as a development brand, you will enjoy the hell out of this show, because the show has a lot to offer. But if you think of it as the old black and gold brand, you will be disappointed, because all the guys you loved, all your heroes, are falling down like dominoes. I mean, just look at the winners of most of the matches tonight. You had new women's tag team champions, so where do you go from here with Io Shirai? Does she stay on NXT? Is there anything else she needs to accomplish on that brand, or does she move to Raw or SmackDown? Raquel Gonzalez losing to Mandy Rose. Is there a reason for her to stay on NXT? Or is it time to move on? Also, when you see the rivalry between Carmelo Hayes and Johnny Gargano, same thing. I don't see Johnny Gargano defeating Carmelo Hayes. And when you look at the main event picture with Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker, this is the passing of the torch. The question is, when exactly is going to happen? So all your old favorites are going away quietly and peacefully to other pastures, either be it Raw or SmackDown or anywhere else. And this is about the future. This is about guys like Braun Breaker, like Solo Sikoa, like Grayson Waller. I want to say LA Knight, but I don't see him in the same equation. I think of him as the old generation, even though he's brand new. But we just have to wait and see. And when I read an interview with Indy Hartwell about how does she feel about the new NXT 2.0, she said, I'm happy these guys that have been training night and day get a chance to showcase themselves in a TV show. And that's the thing. Because NXT, at its concept, at its core, is a development brand. So why not let the guys who are in developmental get a shot? And this is basically NXT 2.0. If you can accept that, you will enjoy NXT 2.0 as much as I did. If not, you got other shows to watch. But hey, that's just my opinion. So that was NXT Halloween Havoc. Let me know in the comments, did you enjoy it or did you hate it? We would love to read your comments on YouTube or on our podcast. Also, if you want to stay notified when we're uploading these videos, hit a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification button. We'll see you next time with another Clothesline video on YouTube. And also follow us on the podcast. We're on Podbean, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Audible, and Stitcher. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on another Clothesline Podcast Review.